into the night. The city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on.
What's up?
Hey, look alive out there. Good to see
Hey,
you.
hey, hey!
Coming through. Hello.
Put that thing to use.
Now I have their attention.
You're all good.
This BPM.
They're tracking me.
Taking the rope. Moving the barricade. Good to see you.
Not so fast.
Our robot's in the lead.
Secure and ready to move.
狐の鍵爪を解き放て
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Good enough. これが私のなれる技だ Hey. ザコがザコがザコが
Escorting the robot. Let's move.
I've got things moving.
Let's get on with it.
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Forward spawn activated. Hello. Hi, hi.
Hello. Railgun charged. Not bad at all.
We got it where we want it.
This ends now. Now.
これが私のなれる技だ Got the robot. Hello.
I'm with you.
Here we go.
Kite.
I can make this happen.
Hello. Good to see you. Hello, hello.
Barricade's moving.
Gonna catch ya. This tin can's coming with me. Gonna catch ya. That's better. Hey, hey, hey!
Clear out.
Hey, buddy! Push, 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 push!
Get the robot.
Let's go.
Hey, boy.
Approaching final destination.
Push, push, push.
On the Xion at the moment. Nadekao has the overclock as well, but Mixed VI has the beat. Surely has to drop it, thank God.
Yeah, there it is. The beat from Mixed V keeps Colombia alive, keeps them in this map, but the damage from Nadekato is looking good. In the end, Super Gomez finds Amity. There's a tank down, and Bob Wasabi's going to follow up into Nadekato too. So it's going to be advantage Colombia. It's going to be fight one Colombia. Can they get to prevent the forward spawn from USA, or will the stall come through long enough? Boop does go down, but Fern finds one on their way out too. There's finally the fight ended. Super Gomez is going to close it out with a two-piece. It's nice work. I mean, it's Xion Showdown right now. It's all the Xion specials. Just so much damage coming through from that new character who I think might be a little bit broken. The burst coming through from the bike and the right click. Like you drive into someone with the bike, you pop it and explode it on their face. They're down to like below half instantly. Then you right click there. Then with the execution, it's uncomfortable certainly, and Zach's getting good use out of it. But Super Gomez is doing a great job too.
What is
Yeah,
this
they
side burst
did.
in the backline?
What's going on? they did tune it down a little bit, but here we go. Zach immediately coming through again. Doesn't quite secure the final blow, but once again investing into the fights and a beautiful execution onto Mixfy. Flying through the air. Super Gomez is able to shut down the Xion on the other side, but you can see once again that they haven't been able to really do too much to slow America down. You've got Fern still with that Kitsune Rush coming into the next fight, and Colombia invested everything just to make sure that they could hold on to some sort of hope on Esperanza. They're doing a lot of damage to Amity, but no one's dying. You've got them down so low, but that Malga can just recover health so quickly. Super Gomez now having to drop back to the Mega, and they're left with their tail behind their legs, trying to get back to the cart now, just about getting it past halfway, and they should be ending to their own meterage now. Super Gomez still trying to get away from the threat of Amity. Kitsune Rush invested into the cage, and now that beat from Mixfy once again, but it doesn't really find as much as you want it to. Both Tank and Lucio go down within the cage, and everyone cleaned up by the US once again. 1 minute 30 on the clock, and it's looking dire for Colombia.
Yeah, this is not looking ideal for Colombia at the moment. It just keeps spiraling out of control every single fight. It just feels like it starts okay, and then USA just kind of kill everyone. I mean, case in point right here. Amity's just allowed to stand there for no reason, then the Mixed VI is just kind of going in and almost dying for nothing, right? But Nadekao has the overclock, and he'll probably look to kill a lot of people here.
Yeah, that's a dangerous Malga corner. But runs away, does Bobby Wasabi. Actually, never mind. Fern's found the final blow, and that's tanked down for Colombia. Massive advantage here found by USA. The Susie's invested from the Kiriko as well, so survivability so limited. The TP gets them away, but now they are very punishable.
Someone needs to
ST as
touch.
well, and it's-
Someone needs to touch.
Yeah,
No
it's
one's
just
going to
over, right?
touch.
And I think there's not much to say about the way Colombia played there, because it was just dominance from USA. Look at the stat line here: Amity 30-1, Zach 27-5. Every single player playing exceptionally well. I think mostly priority goes to Zach here, who really put on a show on the Xion. I think you're right, the nerf came through, but it wasn't really like the high burst is still so available with the bike and the explosion combo, and then the execution, like it only really nerfed it from the projectile size decrease is impactful, but when you're right in their face, especially against a Malga, right, it's not going to really do much. The recovery time's interesting, but like once you've already done the big damage, it doesn't really matter if they're already dead, right? So I don't know. The only way I can see Colombia really getting out of this situation is banning out the Xion, but you've only got one map to do that for.
Maybe
Then you
USA
can see
will
that they
ban out as well.
Yeah, it could be, but the difficult thing is now you've both played exactly the same composition, and USA have beaten you on it. So you need to change something up, but it's what do you take out of that composition that you feel like you could do better on somewhere else? You've got the Juno coming back that was banned out by the USA, but I believe Amity's ball does come back in as well, and she's been known for playing that quite a lot. We head over to our second map of the series, which should be picked pretty soon by Colombia. Just give them a little bit of time to collect their thoughts after that map. And
We have a
I
map.
mean, the other thing as well is we had the difficulty of saying okay, it's going to be really difficult for these players to be able to stop momentum when it starts happening. We said that Push was a momentum based map. We said that this series was going to be very momentum based. And also, can I add that Sky Knight's prediction has already gone wrong as 4-0 for Colombia is not possible anymore. But the
Just made
momentum
4-1
just
Colombia.
the momentum just wasn't there for Colombia in the slightest.
No, absolutely not. I mean, like I said, whenever they got anything going, it just kind of grinded to a halt. The motorbike for Colombia was not working, but it was working for Zach perfectly fine on that
Yeah.
map. And I don't know if you're Colombia right now. Obviously, that kind of high pace of push and Esperanza was not working. I mean, I think we all saw it not work. So I think you need to go to you just got to slow the game down a little bit. You go for a little bit of a slower game mode. Try get some maps on the board. So honestly, if I'm Colombia, as much as I hate to say it, I'm avoiding control and flashpoint like it's the plague. I'm going for a long range escort map. I'm going for a long range hybrid map. Slow the game down, make it as sloppy as possible, make it a complete slog for the USA to play because you don't in these kind of games. Colombia. I mean, we said that USA might be the favorites, and based on that map, I think is very obvious that they probably are the favorites. Sometimes when it comes down to this, you don't have to win honestly. You got to make it difficult. You got to be a hard team to beat. And if you just go with the mirror and just play worse, you're an easy team to beat. So on Colombia to really actually pick a map and definitely pick a comp that will maybe make the USA stumble just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you talk about the mirror as well because, I mean, when we loaded into that game, there was one slight difference, which was the Sojourn versus the Cassidy. And I believe it was Colombia who had the Cassidy, and within maybe one or two fights, they switched that out to the Sojourn. So they were
I
playing
don't
something
know why.
slightly adjusted, and then they went full mirror. And that is always a little bit concerning to me when teams do something like that, when they switch to the character that is doing damage to them, as opposed to playing the thing they thought was going to be best in the first place. Because, I mean, Sojourn, I think can have higher ceilings than Cassidy, but if you're clicking the Cassidy, it's probably for a reason, right? You're probably thinking it's a little bit more comfortable for your hit scan player, and if you're a little bit more comfortable on Cassidy than you are on Sojourn, then it's like these characters aren't that far apart anymore that it's a bad call to play the Cass. Also, Cass can be nice into Shion, who's got two movement abilities. You want to hinder both of them out. I mean, Motorbike has a long cooldown, but once you get the major perk, it decreases with the headshots, right? So the hinder nade can be good into that. It can be good into an opposing Sojourn. Like it's not like it's got no use. And also Lucio Kiri, like again, two characters. Lucio especially highly mobile. So
It's
I
good
didn't
into the
really
manga
like.
as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't really like that switch, and I feel like it kind of speaks to a bigger issue for Colombia. Again, as you mentioned, Avalanche, we spoke about the momentum, and it's like this one, there was no give back from Colombia. I think they got like 2 meters and 90 centimeters, which is genuinely barely taller than a basketball player. Like you can lie down when Wembanyama, and that's how far they push, right? And that's like crazy to say in this little situation. So I think we need to see them play their own game, and you're right, be difficult to beat, as opposed to just kind of playing what they think is the best comp, but worse than the team who knows it's the best comp.
I would have liked to have seen them maybe try and switch things up towards the end of that push map. You know, it's a dire situation. Yes, you still technically had a chance of winning that, but I think just using the time to your advantage, try and work out something that could go against that composition. Yes, you know, Amity's not going to play the Malga all the time because you have banned the Wrecking Ball, but looking forwards to the rest of the maps, you need to have something to deal with the Shion. You need to have something to deal with Nadakaso, who can step up as well on that Sojourn and take the role of the final blow creator. But obviously, Zach stepping up, and I do feel what you guys are saying about the cast is that you can play it really well into the Malga. I think in terms of playing into Amalga, sometimes you just want to turn your brain off a little bit and just farm railgun, but
The Sojourn ban from Colombia, I think it's I think it's alright, but no way Colombia are rolling out in this comp. I don't believe my eyes. Or no.
I just
No, wait, that's
it's
USA. Sorry,
USA.
USA.
Yeah, I get it.
No, it's a flying roadhog. That's exactly what we're seeing. Okay. Situation be as it may, we've seen this Mitsuki and oh my god. Okay, we're going for this now. It's game 2, guys. Calm down. We're going for the strange compositions, but we've seen this composition for Colombia get a lot of use in pro play. The hook onto the Mei immediately taking out New 7. Super Gomez able to use that shield to good advantage and take down Boop. So no more flying for Amity as to control the objective is fought between the two tanks with, you can see Bobby Wasabi, that Rock doing a lot, the accretion stunning that Roadhog, but Amity able to stay alive at the moment, take a breather, doing a lot of work. Nadakato trying to find something here, peeking around the corner. It's difficult, but they're surviving at the moment. How long will it last as Zach goes down? So they should be able to take a bit more control and step forwards here. Should Colombia, Amity falling as well, should open the floodgates here. Nadakato able to jump over the objective and back into the spawn, but already with a Fly Noon on deck, it's going to be difficult for Colombia to deal with this.
Chapaka is a ridiculous character. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it makes every comp feel like a troll comp, even when it's serious. You're right. We've got the Fly Noon as an option. Here it comes. The Deadeye up high. The Saber can block it out, but the barrier's down, and there's Super Gomez brought down. The Shion is dead to the High Noon, and that's a good find from the USA players. And we listen out, and there's the Mizuki ult to give some sustain to Colombia as they hold down the fort on point, get some extra percentage ticks, and Amity blocked out. It's a really nice shield placement from Bobby Wasabi. Has the ult into the Kasune if they want to, but there's a wall up by the Mei, and it's blocked off. There it is, death on Bobby Wasabi, and now the pulse comes. Oh, sorry, the shield not comes through from Super Gomez. Can they find anything? Find Fern, and Nadakato down as well. Amity onto Super Gomez, though, keeps it equalized, and that's a really nice grapple from the Hog out the blizzard. Ends up going down to Kratos' son. So now it's just Amity and Zack, and Zack switched over to Savara. Can't quite find any value here. Takes some chips from the icicles of the Mei, and Amity's looking to survive here. Walled off though from the heels. Can they stay alive here? That's some good breather work. And there's a hook onto the Mei. There's a dead Mei. That's an explosion with the Farah. New 7 brought down. And I mean, a Hog feels like a silly character sometimes, but a well-positioned Hog can just pose so much threat. And that's value twice onto the Mei. Ferns diffed Kratos' son as well. And somehow USA are turning this around out of nowhere. That's Colombia down and Colombia out, and 70%, not quite 69%, and the USA flipped the point, but I don't really know how that fight was so fumbled from Colombia so easily.
I mean, Amity just was not punished, to be honest, and New 7 just kind of completely wasted the go-downs, right? The wall accomplished, to put it bluntly, nothing, and the ice block is forced because of the wall, right? And then it's just an early pick by Amity, and that hook, I mean, it's dangerous, but it's not going to accomplish anything. Just back up, play the barrage, try to shut down this Sigma. It's going to be difficult because Mixed VI has that Kekai Sentry. I'll go for hook off the map. Oh, almost.
Yeah, just trying to fly in and use these hooks a good advantage, but Boot going down once again means there's no way out for Amity. Zack trying to do something with this barrage and finds 2 before anything else can happen. Kankai Sanctuary invested, trying to flip this now. Here comes that Gravitic Flux, but Nadakato is not going to fall to that because Boop is purring all over the map. Bobby Wasabi trying to stay alive, use that kinetic grasp, but it's not going to be enough. Nadakato cleaning up that kill, and the rest of the team falling. Mixvy the last one to go. Once again, USA just able to hold ground.
Feels like Mizuki was a little bit asleep at the wheel there. You called out the ultimate was available when the barrage was popped, but 2 went down before it was invested, and that was really spelling doom for Colombia, who, despite having that later on sustain, couldn't win it out because the damage was too big. And now, I mean, Amity needs to hit a shot here. Going to get punished out by the accretion. I'm blocked in, but the Roach doesn't.
How has New 7 lived? How has New 7 lived? New 7 invested every single piece of util to try and stay alive there. Had nothing for that final sort of set of shots from Amity, and somehow survives the entire team collapsing onto the character with no movement ability. Anyway, we'll go on to this next fight. Super Gomez going down 5 ticks to getting that, and then unfortunately just everything going wrong for the Colombians, where they look so solid in their first holds. They've really not been able to get back in on this composition, and that is the difficulty playing this Sig Mitsuki comp. Is you're really, really good defensively, but if you end up losing the objective, it's so hard to bring it back under your control. And we saw they just weren't quite able to do that on Gardens. We'll see how it goes for them on the second objective of Night Market.
Yeah, might go a little bit better on this one, but honestly, like if there's a point to kind of collapse round and encircle a point, it's that point, right? You won. They just kind of kept stacking the same direction. Of course, that's the objective of the Sigma Mizuki Mei comp, right? But honestly, as soon as I'm losing the point on that comp, I'm swapping. I am swapping comp when I see what they're playing, because New 7 on the Mei, it would just get walked at, and the wall would get forced, and the ice cube would get forced, and then he's just a sitting duck. The only reason he managed to live in that one bit was because Amity just missed his hook, and then, well, Amity somehow lived as well, because there's no damage, because you're playing Mei. You're playing Mei. There's no damage in your DPS line. I mean, Super Gomez immediately goes, and New 7's thankfully on the cast now, but it's looking rough for Colombia.
Yeah, that's going crazy.
Devastating. The
I've done a
New
lot
7
of that.
and Super Gomez were both taken down so low by it. Super Gomez died immediately. And you can see that immediate switch over to try and get something going on this Cap Bastion. Super Gomez is going to be flying through the air, doing exactly what Amity did on the other side, but not quite as big a target flying through the sky on this round. You can see that Kratos-san, he is going to be trying to get in here, but it's just so much for you to deal with. They've gone with a bit of a switch up in composition. The Orisa trying to deal with Amity's Wrecking Ball now, but once again, the runs through just about avoiding the edge of the map. And New 7's been able to find Boop, so a first kill here for Colombia, being able to take a bit more control of the objective. The run through still doing way too much though for Amity, and a little bit of a thorn in the side as they do let the objective capture go through to Colombia, but that's just a bit of a false sense of security, as now there's nothing that anyone can do. Fern with a beautiful sleep onto Mixby as well, and Wasabi trying to hold down the objective, but it's not going to last for long.
Doesn't last long at all for Colombia there. They get in, again, it's the same problem as East Bronzy. You get in and then nothing ever happens. That's the problem. Now USA, they have the barrage, and this spider spot from Amity is just absolutely devilish, right? Slam down into the barrage. No music this time, not that it mattered on the last point, but New 7 immediately getting picked up. But that barrage is off the table, so that's honestly a trade I like.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
good work
one
to
trade.
break up. I do say, I feel like it was kind of important for them to win the map where they banned out the ball, because Amity's looking so clean on it with those roll-throughs, getting so much damage, and the Bastion's now brought down by Fern. It's a nice shot from the sniping Anna, and has the mines available onto the point as well. Here comes the Cat ultimate, looking to take someone else off the map, and that's Zac brought away by Kratos-san, so that's a good find, but it's just heavy advantage for USA here, and these boops are so huge. That's a pick and a double. And that was just poor New 7 who came back from spawn to find his entire team dead, gets slammed in the face, and there's going to be the final blow by Amity.
I mean, the worst part about that catnap was the fact that Zac was able to find the kill before falling to the void. Kratos-san was taken down as well in the midst of that, so it's just a 50-50 trade, and you're losing a support for a DPS. Yes, Zac has been on fire throughout these first two maps so far, but at the end of the day, you are losing that out. Zac, once again, falling. New 7 did have to pop that ultimate to try and stay alive, but that shot is crispy onto Nadakaso, taking out the Emery of the other side. Amity now going down low, not going to be able to escape. Mixby making sure of that one. Zac now trying to come back in as the Wrecking Ball carcass does pop back into existence for just a second. Just chilling there is the shell, as now it looks like it's USA's time to turn back in here. They've got 3 ults, make it 4 coming up as well, with Boop coming in with that sound barrier, but they decide to go before that is able to be invested. Nadakaso getting him down so low, and there's already 2 quick kills for the DPS. Bobby Wasabi falling as well. A minefield out on the objective. It seems insurmountable for Colombia. Amity taking down Super Gomez is going to make sure of that, with Kratos-san being the last one to fall. It is going to be another 2-0 for USA. A bit more of a fight put up by Colombia, but unfortunately not able to land a cutthroat control on the objective to be able to take out either of these submaps. So 2-0 to USA, and they continue to try and keep this wrecking ball rolling.
Honestly, I don't understand why they got off the Mizuki on the second point. If you're playing, like, if Fern had died one time, so it's pretty clear that you're not playing to pressure the Ana, because, well, it's an Ana with a Lucio peel in a ball com, right? Generally speaking, that Ana should be the sacrificial lamb. That Ana should be, all right, dump your cooldowns, and then Ana, bro, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're dead. You know what I mean? That should be how it is every single fight, but it wasn't. USA were just finding picks too early, and it's because it felt like Colombia, they didn't decide how they wanted to play. Do you want to try bunker up and play slowly? If so, go Mizuki. If not, then go mirror the ball. Get off a Risa. You know what I mean? You gotta get off a Lucio. You get off a Risa. One of the two has to change. You can't play both into that comp because the Ana was under no pressure. The ball isn't punished enough because you're running the cast as well. It's not like you're even running a Shion or Super Gomez was on the Shion, but it's not even like you're running a Soj. Sorry, so you didn't even have that long range pressure. And credit to Cassidy was hitting some lovely shots, but there's only you can only be taken so far by a couple of nice picks off your hit scan. You know, I mean, there comes a time where you need to change hero, you need to change how you're playing. And again, I said it. If they go control, I mean, if they go flashpoint here, I think it's just gonna be 3-0 USA. Um,
Mm.
if you go these game modes where you're not able to slow the game down to your pace, or at least slow the USA down, even if it's not to your pace, just delay the USA so you can maybe bait out more mistakes or try capitalize and stuff, because it's clearly have the mechanics. Super Gomez playing very, very well. I mean, Mixvy playing great as well on that support as well. Cassidy as well playing fantastic with the mechanics. If you just play for that instead of playing these comps which don't synergize into what the enemy team is actually playing or combat what the enemy team is playing in a uniform manner, then I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a 4-0 if Colombia don't change up.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that actually. You mentioned the map picks, and I think as soon as Li Zhang came through, I think all of us probably had some form of adverse reaction to it, and it was kind of exactly what you were saying. They should not do, and then they picked into it. And I think, I mean, we saw some variation of comps, right? I like the idea they had with that defensive comp from the May. It's like we take first point and we
Mm.
just hold it down, but then they lose it and they can't get back in, and they're playing against a very strange comp. Admittedly, like you don't have, I imagine, many reps against that style, but it's like they get stuck on one idea and then they struggle to come up with a new solution. And I hope that here with a map, oh, I mean, I'm not. It's hybrid, right? Which is good, but I think we're going into again. We've gone. You said you described Li Sheng as the King's Row control. We are now on the King's Row of King's Row, and I think if you're talking about any sort of standard map here, I just think USA have an advantage. Colombia need to bring out something interesting if they want to shake this up, because the USA are playing better. They are a better team, at least right now, right? They look more comfortable. They look more coordinated, and they just look stronger overall. And Colombia have the mechanics, as you mentioned, to back up some gameplay. So they need to do something slightly interesting. And I mean, I don't think a Mizuki ban is that interesting, if you ask me.
No.
I don't know if this helps you. I mean, Wrecking Ball on King's Row hasn't always been the best, but how does banning the Misaki help you? I mean, the Malga's going to try and run at you anyway. You don't have the ability to stop the overrun, yes, but you have the ability to shut down Amity if she goes for that early pressure. And I mean, yeah, with the way that they're playing at the moment, Amity can just force this wrecking ball. We got Social in and Aza as well for the US, so a little bit of a break for Boop and for Zach, but well earned on that side. Bobby Wasabi switching over and Super Gomez going over onto the tank as well. So a little bit of a switch up as there's a bit of a rotation in terms of what people are playing. And New7's going to be able to just spam some damage out here for the moment. Kratos on, you can see just a little bit of chip damage being gained onto Colombia and is not being earned back. Amity hitting all of those shots onto New 7. Nadakaso taking down Kratos as well. And as the legs cut out once more from underneath the Colombians, both DPS falling. Yes, you've gotten into the backline on this composition, but how much are you able to do with two supports and a Zarya in the backline with no charge?
I mean, you're just staggering yourself out here unless there's some heroics, and while there is, I mean, Kratos gets the pick onto Nadakawa by the grace of God somehow, but that's a good boot from Amity, manages to knock Super Gomez to the low ground. Is that, wait, am I tripping? This is a roll swap from Colombia, no?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Amity's going to punish onto new 7, so the Freya brought down by... They're such a good ball player. There's a nice sleep from Fern, brought down by Mixley, who's actually found a second on the Tracer as well. The headshot is beautiful there to give Colombia a little bit of hope in hell here. I say, look to capture the first point on King's Row. They've got one take, goes into the second, and there is also damage onto the Freya. Kratos' son so low.
How is he alive?
How are they still alive? There's Mixley for the final blow. The Kiriko with the 3-piece in the end, and Super Gomez onto social is going to be the closer here, as Amity has to back away if they want to survive. They do so, get the mega health back as well, up to 400. And it's actually a pretty swift capture there for Colombia. Like, they have 5 minutes to go for second point. It's nice work in the end after a rough start, and continuing on some momentum is Super Gomez onto the high ground, onto the Ana. It's a nice anti-nade, but Fern brought down that sacrificial lamb from map number 1 is finally being led to the slaughter here.
I really like
as well.
I really like this change in tempo. You wouldn't expect a Zarya composition to go quite as fast as they are, but they're taking all the space that they want and more at the moment. Just 10% off of that grab for Super Gomez. Here comes that tidal surge from Social, not able to block it. They are down so low. Azer's able to take down Kratos' son again, so it looks like they're just going to be sent back to the spawn. Super Gomez maybe just try and hold on to that energy rather than falling, but that's not going to be the case. Social with the mop and bucket and the water to bring with it as well. The Wu Yang finding 4 on the fight, my word, just sweeping up the competition. They can't get out of their spawn at the moment. Amity's touching the spawn doors. It grabs to get out of here. Everything invested, and yeah, they do get out of there, but it's going to be a little bit of a while before they can get too far on this payload.
Yeah, not too much time to push to Colombia, but 3 ults for them. Got the Tectonic Shot, got the Casino Rush, got the beat. So will be nice for them in this next fight. And I like how close up they're playing here. I like how far up they're playing. I like this spot from Kratos' son. Okay, I don't mean go that deep. I mean, I don't know about that, but I like this spot from him now, able to just get in the off angle, and that's a nice Tectonic Shot from the back.
Yeah, I mean, despite investing 2 ults in their own spawn, they kept ahead of the ult economy, but there's Kratos on AFK on the payload. Nearly goes down to Amity, gets saved in the end, and Super Gomez finds Azer in the backline, so a weird flip fight here, and USA looking to turn the tides, but currently Colombia maintaining their advantage. There's a nice shot by Nadakato though, so new 7 brought down. That's a Freya matchup going the way of the USA, as Amity's just stalling out this payload so much, they can't get any momentum here. So much health on that ball swinging around, and there's the wave coming through to give extra healing, and here's the rush though from Colombia, looking to out-damage the healing with some extra attack speed, extra cooldown, extra damage, and it's forcing Amity to back away. So again, some progress being made on the cart, but it's just so messy, it's so uncomfortable. It's the USA bringing the discomfort of the fight where Colombia want to be doing it themselves, and Nadakato looking to find the final blow onto the Lucio. Can Bobby Wasabi escape? No, that movement's going to let him down. Stuck outside the window, Social's going to splash him away, but they are close to capturing. Here comes a contesto from the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that eventually it's working. Unfortunately, you do lose both of your supports in this fight, so that will be the end of this push for now. But 2 minutes left, you've been able to get through most of the streets phase. Really helps you. Bobby Wasabi maybe, Super Gomez maybe just keep that in the back pocket. And I think we need some subway surfers on the other monitor for Kratos' son, who went exploring in the back rooms of the subway system, trying to find something. But I mean, we're back now, that tidal surge in, but Super Gomez is going to be able to punish Social before that blast goes off. Kratos' son does fall, and Mixby has to be so careful here. It's a beautiful Bionade as well onto New 7, and the Freya falls as well. Mixby down to 1 HP. Amity playing with their food on that Wrecking Ball, eventually taking down the Kiriko. The rest of the team just sent back to spawn, and they're having to huddle behind Mondata here for safety.
Yeah, I mean, this part of the map is so much better for how USA are playing, right? It's so much more open, so much longer range for Nadakato to just spam down on that Freya. And look at the position Azer and Amity can take on the ball and Tracer, right? This is so free for them. I mean, unless Azer just takes a kunai to the dome, but there's so much room for USA to work. In Colombia, it's gonna have a tall task to fight through. But Amity, whoa, getting a little bit too greedy there.
Yeah, a little bit of hubris shown from the US, but the mine's going to stall some more as the pillar's been pushed so far back. Kratos' son gets down on the ground, can pop up above the Freya. Knows to find it, but there's a Freya ultimate in the face, and it's a trade even now. And I think that's advantage USA because Social's gone for one, but Bobby's Hobbies look to counter that one too with a melee into the face, punching down the Wu Yang. And it's just, once again, Amity returning. Aza in the back line has to play a little bit safer, gets the mini, so now can get back involved, and that's a nice new 7 combines with the Wrecking Ball.
What?
The beat is
It's
a little bit too late.
Two-man beat. Oh, it's devastating for Colombia, just trying to eke out everything that they can. Now 17 seconds left. This grab needs to be massive from Super Gomez. They do have the Kitsune Rush as well, so 2 incredibly big ultimates for them to try and invest here. Mixby just about surviving, but it's so much damage off the back of this Nano onto Super Gomez. Someone needs to touch. Someone does touch just about, and it looks like they're finding the kills to go with it as well. One still on the objective, New 7 being the hero of the hour to make sure that cart does not go away from their grasp. Social just throwing in the water orbs to do some, but it's not going to be enough to hold them at bay. And just about in overtime, Colombia are going to be forcing into the underground, and I feel like that was a really good fight for them to take there.
W stat pad from Social there. Spams so much damage on that Wu Yang. Does put us all though, to be fair, as the title blast for this fight. But yeah, almost C9 from Colombia. But only 1 minute left on the clock. Honestly, it's really difficult to push this final point with just a minute.
Yeah, but they can be happy with the second collection as Nadokato's found Kratos' son, so that's making it even more difficult, delaying some more time out for the Colombians who will have to come in with no ults. They're going to have to spend some time building him up too. On the other side, we've got the mines. Amity playing Spider once more, drops him down, slams high, finds the first. New 7 brought down by a headshot from Nadokato. The Ash Switch finding great value here. And now, I mean, you're right, the clock is just slowly fading away. Colombia's still yet to build up an ultimate. And they don't really have anything big to take this one. It's a high charge Zarya, but getting pushed around by the Pharaoh of Aza. So difficult to find any angles here. So the pace has been slowed down. That aggression early on from the Colombians has been hindered by the Americans as Aza finds Mixby, and losing a Kiriko early into a fight is never comfortable. Your heals now relying on a Lucio who's been bobbled away, but damage coming through into Super Gomez. They have to back. And have
They
to wait
need
for
to
their support
survive here. You can't let anyone else fall. 14 seconds left. It needs to be this last hit for Colombia that takes them through and at least gets a lot of the way there. Bobby Wasabi dying on 99% to B. It's exactly what you didn't want. Now that Nano Barrage just doing everything in the backline. Super Gomez trying to hold out as long as possible. And New 7 able to find a kill as well. So potentially there's still the availability for Bobby Wasabi to come back in here with the beat. Mixby's able to find one, and Fern isn't even able to take the taste of Void taken down before falling into there. But now as we push into overtime, there is a grab, there is a beat for Colombia, and there is hope. Still in overtime, no one has to do too much. You can see Aza down so low. Here comes that beat. Bob is caught in the grab as well, but it just means that the cart is not able to progress. New 7 finding 2 before falling, but it's the C9 once again. Super Gomez pushed off the objective, and with how long it had been in overtime, it only takes that split second with your feet off the cart and maybe just lacking a bit of some focus to make sure that you stay there. And unfortunately, that's where it all ends, and it felt like they were building pretty well into that fight.
Yeah, it was looking alright, but there was still a bob on the cart for USA. Like I think it might.
You know
have
why
been
there was a bob on the
Gomi.
cart? They grabbed the bob onto the cart.
I so yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I was like, okay, right. So we grabbed the ball.
I'd say it's more unfortunate timing than
A little bit, but
something
I
that
mean,
was on
you can make the argument, but also they grabbed no one else. Like even if the bob didn't get grabbed onto the cart, it was still a bad grab. It was just going for the bull, who is notoriously slippery. And I think in a situation like this, I mean, first of all, kudos to Colombia. They were in the overtime work on second point. They managed to capture push it all the way to the end. And I mean, they were stopped just before the final cap on third point, but it's a nice push. It's given them some hope here. But that ult needed to be big from the Zarya, and the grab didn't come through. Instead, just unfortunately, the bob did go on top of the cart as well, which meant I think it was the Cassidy New 7 who was brought down. But I mean, they've done nice work here. I think this is the best fights we've seen out of Colombia, with that flip on in the overtime wick on point 2, and then also pushing around that corner onto point 3, going deeper into the underground. They've shown some coordination, and switching up to a Malga comp here. I mean, it has some defensive solidity, but they're going to have to do good work to prevent USA, who have been so on it, from going all the way here.
It was scrappy, but it felt like that was what they needed, right? They needed some fight wins, even if you're winning them comfortably, or you are barely getting them through. New 7 going down so low, but in the meantime, Kratos Sun going into the backline. Super Gomez has to be so careful with that Bionade landed, but it's Kratos Sun starting out with a 2k, forcing the Americans back for now, and that Venture just able to hold so far. Bobby Wasabi also looking for Amity, but losing Nadakato once again is going to stunt the attack of USA. Amity going back to spawn, switching over to the Sigma, which is going to be able to do a fair amount to mitigate a lot of the damage coming out from Super Gomez. As once again, just getting past that hotel, round this statue and trying to focus on this fight forwards. Kinetic Grasp to walk forwards a little bit further, and they forced all of America, all of Colombia basically, into this hotel area. Going to be back onto the objective for Super Gomez, trying to do a lot here, but the accretion is everything, and 2 falling early, both of the supports going down. Surely it's a matter of time. Kratos Sun is going to do as much as possible to try and use this burrow and stall, but it's not going to be enough. Super Gomez goes down trying to find one. New 7 takes one with them back to spawn, but the rest of the team is not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, in Colombia, I mean, there's just absolutely no map control for them right there. I mean, stall from Kratos Sun is going to buy some time, but has to just leave eventually. But Colombia, they give up all the space around the point right there. They get bats up into choke, and then like, what's the route that you're going to take to get out of choke? Oh, we'll go through hotel. Guess who's waiting on the other side of hotel? It's Nadakato, and you're against a Sigma. You're just going to take about 1 billion damage before you can even make that rotate. You even have a Wu Yang who's just got a 3k on the side of USA as well. Like, there's so much spam damage that you have to deal with if you're Colombia, to the point that you can't afford to get backed up into a choke versus Colombia.
I think there was some miscommunication there from. Oh no! I was going to point out miscommunication from Mixby, who died earlier on. I think trying to help the Venture, who was just in for a stall and so getting punished early. By
Oh
Amity,
my
who's on
god!
50 bucks. Doesn't quite catch.
They're
up
on the
with
start
Bobby
of
at the deadline.
Streets phase. They've
The
gone
deadline is
5 miles through.
Yeah, I mean
They're on the start of Streets. You've got one sat on that car, which I assume is. I mean it's what, Azer? Yeah, Azer on the Genji's just sat on the objective, and you can see Amity maybe just a little bit too much overconfidence. They're still going to fight through into this. Nice little fadeaway headshot, but it's not going to be enough. Super Gomez taking down Nadakato from that barrage, but once again, it's the rest of the threats that you're not worried about, and this threat can kill you around a corner. You don't even need to be peeking the angle to be able to be taken down by the likes of Social, by Amity, by Nadakato. They can just spam down these chokes, and as soon as you pop out, that's enough to take the kill. Azer, after not being involved in that last fight, is still waiting on that blade to be charged. 97% in the meantime. You can see the Kitsune Rush invested from Mixby. They are going to respect this, backing up round the corner, just kiting away, knowing that they don't need to fight into this. With Social being able to invest this tidal surge once again very, very soon, could be used to set this Genji blade into action. That's exactly what they try and go with. Be out on the other side, but is it going to be enough to save New 7? Yes, it is. It forces Azer back, so good job of dealing with that by Colombia. But once again, this car has just been pushing forwards. Bobby Wasabi trying to stay alive, trying to get through, somehow managing to find the perfect angle to get away. Kratos Sun as well investing the tectonic shock, and somehow from the depths, Colombia have pulled it out, and they still hold this second objective.
I believe.
Yeah, I don't know how Bobby
they're
Wasabi lives there.
team. They're a last gasp team. Every single fight they win is when they literally have to. They won in overtime. They won here when the cart was right off into third point. Now Kratos Sun is inting in the
Oh
the top
no.
fight. It's a beautiful sleep. Does get away with the help of the Lucio, but is Bobby Wasabi going to be punished instead? Actually, Amity's down. So much focus on the high ground leads to the death of the tank, and that's a bit of a fumble from USA, who might have lost a little bit of focus here. As I mean, damage comes from Super Gomez, but has the grab, and the ults are a little bit ahead of the cycle for Colombia. Then now on the side of USA to bring into this fight, build up closer to another one. Is, I mean, the time is not super healthy for USA. They have to lock in a little bit here.
Yeah, 1 minute 30 on the clock. You just got to be a little bit careful here. New 7 immediately gets that Suzu to cleanse from the Bionade, but still down low, and they're losing more and more and more here. They have to be careful not to be taken off of this objective as soon as possible. New 7 finding headshots to fight back in, and Kratos able to get into that backline, finding Amity as well with the emergence from the burrow. Can Super Gomez survive this as well? Yes, Nadakato goes down. New 7 does fall to Aza, but that's going to be the only kill that they found. And once again, I mean, it's Colombia finding the ways to win when they need to. Maybe once again you need those Family Guy edits for Kratos' son going up to that high ground and getting a little bit too silly, but it's all right.
Please scout this Zarya.
How it's a window there, guys. It's not a wall. It's a window.
I don't
The
believe
grab
it. I
is
don't believe my eyes.
beautiful, and somehow that's been able to work. But it's not found a kill. Bobby Wasabi eventually finds Social, but the rest of the team is able to burst forwards. It's an OC with the nano, and yeah, the beat from Bobby Wasabi never comes out. New 7 falls as well, and 2 players now down. It's a 4v3 for America. Nadakato forced off the angle, but someone's got to be able to touch the cart now. I believe it's Kratos' on the objective at the moment. Bobby Wasabi comes back with a beat, finds 3. Makes speed going down super low, but does survive now. You can see a little bit more. That is disgusting from Nadakato in combination with Fern. That sleep just too much to deal with. And in overtime, it looks like it is going to be the same story as Colombia found for the US. Just about able to get across the line, but only when the clock starts 0.
Super Gomez must be like kicking himself. That I don't know how Nadakato was allowed to live for that long. I mean, incredible work by Fern. First the nade, then the care, then the kite, then the kill. It was remarkable stuff from the Sojourn and the Arma of the USA. But Colombia, they do have the tectonic shot ready to go, and Super Gomez is almost coming up on the grab. Oh, Kratos, be careful. They almost just went in and died again. That would have been upsetting. But Pulse
I think that was getting out.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Pulse does enough to take down Super Gomez with just a right click from Nadakato, and once again, it just feels like it's a little too much. Kratos' son in the backline trying to force the error here, and I mean, we're nanoing in that situation. Kratos' son is not allowed to live. Amity immediately says, "You like eating rocks? Here's one for you." Back of the skull, takes down Kratos' son, and New 7 falling as well. Someone has to touch the cart. Someone please touch the cart. No one touches the cart. With C9 on both sides of the map, Team USA go towards match point, and Colombia, it felt like it was better, but it's still not enough. Super Gomez does really well on the Zarya, 30 key-limbs over the course of the map, but it's just not enough, and especially in those final moments, it's still not able to be drawn across the line. Yes, it looks like they're getting better with every map, but there's only so long that you can keep going on with that. It's really, really rough to lose a map in that situation, but I mean, what can you do now? You're going into your final map. Yes, you're a team that looks like it's getting closer and closer to a victory, but that would then put you at 3-1. You've still got to find this reverse sweep from somewhere, and it doesn't really look likely with the way that USA have been playing so far.
Honestly, I think Colombia just like keep Super Gomez on the Zarya, because honestly, I think he was low-key carrying. Kratos, I think, was doing good work on the venture. You know, there were times where it was a little bit, how do I phrase, a bit bold, some of the plays he was making. But that's kind of the plays you have to make on a character like Venture, right? You can't just sit back and do nothing. You're one of the, I think maybe the only character in the game, aside from melee characters, that actually just doesn't have technically infinite range. You are completely range capped, so it is the nature eventually you have to do that on that character. And I think, like you said, that is Colombia's best showing. If you're going for that Zarya comp, if you want to stick with that, I think you maybe now need to look to the Surabasa, or no, it's not Surabasa. I associate Flashpoint with Surabasa. You just need to look towards the Flashpoint. Even though I was against it earlier, I think the Zarya comp is what kind of work best. And based on the escort maps, I honestly don't really know what you can go for. I mean, we like we get a look at the map right now.
What?
They've
I
picked,
wonder what they picked.
well,
I
I mean, I guess they've picked Circuit Royale. I don't know how I feel about it. I
I
don't know
mean,
how I feel about it, but
I just,
it's
I think
doable.
you were right about the like the calls about the venture. I think it was a little bit bold, but we were calling for them in the entire series to be creative, to take some risks, and that's what showed up here. That's how they won their fights in King's Row. It wasn't quite enough, but like it was by far and away their best showing. And I think a couple fights go differently. Like I mean, we were talking about Scout out the Zarya in a window, in a short window, gets the grab, and then they end up investing the rush into that fight as well, and they lost. They lost with grab rush when they grabbed, I think, 3, maybe even 4. I think it was 3. But that fight, if they won that fight, they win that map because then USA go and turn it around and pick up in overtime. They wouldn't have had the time to do that. So that sort of situation, if Colombia win that, then they win out of that map and we're in a different conversation. But over on circuit, I imagine we're going to roll swap back. The Zarya ban is good by the USA. I mean, I think they've clocked onto the thing that worked best for Colombia, which was that Zarya comp with Super Gomez. On the other side, again, why? Why not just ban like a Wu Yang, right? We just got dominated, but like, what is Alari? I mean, Alari is not bad here, but I just don't. It
Social
feels like
has decimated you.
it
Social has
feels.
just played incredibly well to decimate you. Social's going to be
Yeah,
on the Mizuki instead, but still, that's not
it feels like
great. A's is
Colombia.
going to stay in as well.
It feels like they ban what they think they should ban and not what they ban in the context of the series. The Super Gomez is brought down so low on the Orisa this time, so staying on the tank, but obviously not allowed the Zarya. So
Somehow
it
survives.
moves on to. I mean, a 1,000 health Orisa, right? But yeah, you're right. I think it's a different call out with Social on the Mizuki, a bit more of a defensive stalwart of a comp, less damage, maybe seeing like more survivability was necessary. On the other side, the Juno switch is interesting from Bobby Wasabi away from the Lucio. I think that does make sense on a map like Circuit.
Just put a Wu Yang in the bag. Like, why even go Mizuki here? I don't. I guess they're on defense, but at the same time, like, I'm being real. Super Gomez would genuinely be having the worst game ever if Social was on Wu Yang here. I'm not gonna lie. Imagine playing Orisa into this comp, but instead of Mizuki, it's a Wu Yang. You're getting shot from about 500 acres away, and you just have to take it. Like, I don't understand the Mizuki fit, but he's close to the Kekai Sanctuary already, so he's clearly doing quite a lot.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
there's a beautiful wall as well.
yeah.
Actually, no, that's
Okay, yeah, there we go. Social just proving us wrong once again, and the Mitsuki on defense, I feel like you pick it to start off with, expecting a bit more of a divey composition
Wasabi.
coming out from Colombia, and it doesn't really do too much. Bobby Wasabi does survive, but only barely. Almost built up to that race, so they have that to fight this corner coming into this fight. New 7 though down so low, and there comes the chain. Social just getting aggressive on that Mizuki and using it to full effect. Amity finding Kratos again, so no DPS left alive for Colombia. Somehow that Orisa is allowed to get back into the spawn doors, but there's 2 ways that you can get there. You chose the lesser of the 2 options. Amity's able to find just a disgusting angle to be able to burst through as well.
Oh my god.
And now with Kankai Sanctuary, part of the Sanctuary is where you can't go into the spawn. They're still finding kills somehow. It's grim. It's really, really difficult to watch. We've got 1 minute 45 seconds left until that payload is locked out, and it feels like there needs to be a switch here from Colombia and fast.
I mean, I don't think Winston's the switch. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I guess you can jump past one, but there's
Social's
no
gonna
way.
be having such a good time, and already you can see chained up is the Winston, just not able to do anything. Yeah, they've gotten a couple of kills. Actually, they've flipped this. Kratos' son doing really well on that Pharaoh. Nadakato's having none of it. Oh, that's disgusting. That's absolutely grim from Nadakato, and just investing the Bob as well. You're not allowing Super Gomez to get out of spawn, and even where it felt like there was hope for Colombia, it's taken away, but New 7 providing a new hope coming back in, looking like Luke Skywalker on that. And I mean, Colombia have control the objective. Somehow it's worked out that way.
Somehow, some way, I think the Ray from Bobby Wasabi had a big part to play in that. Got them out of spawn, let Super Gomez actually lift the Dragon from New 7. I don't know if it'll do an awful lot. Azer, I'm not gonna lie, just somehow dies. I don't even know. Amity does have the flux though, but could be difficult to actually make work considering Kiriko exists and she can just press E and Suza the floor and make everyone invulnerable. And Kratos has this barrage, and unfortunately Social did use the sanctuary in the spawn, so won't have it for for this barrage. So looking rough for the USA in this fight.
Oh my god.
They are
Mm.
not a fan of social. They
Yeah,
are, they
Rachel's
are
dying, right?
anti-social beings today. Are Colombia with that
Mm.
barrage, but Fern's gonna put the counter in, and they are trading out fairly
Point.
consistently here. Point is still there to
Please,
be
please, please,
taken.
please, please, please.
Please, someone get on the objective. Oh, it's overtime. We're just about there, but Super Gomez is down so low and hasn't been able to build up to that primal, so gets one down with him, but Social's come back from the grave to be able to haunt them once again. Someone still
Aza.
needs to touch this objective, just about getting there. Bobby Wasabi finding one onto
Mhm.
Aza, but it's not going to be enough. It is going to just be a first objective needed for Team USA to secure a clean 4-0 and secure this grand final.
I'm gonna make a
Yeah.
prediction. I think USA might win the series.
I
No.
think it's looking fairly good for them right now. They're in an advantageous spot, you may say. Mixv has died 7 times on that map so far, which is a little bit rough, but
In
we'll
4
see
minutes,
how it
35 seconds.
goes. Yeah, the
Yeah,
deaths
that,
per 10 are a little bit out of control.
that's a rough
Right.
one, but it happens to the best of us, right? I mean, if you get in spawn cam, there's not actually much you can really do. To be honest, I mean, there's not many like positive players, if I'm being honest. But I mean, Colombia. I mean, to be honest, I think it's going to be 4-3 Colombia here. They've looked. I think this is absolutely winnable, and there's always a chance that like Social's internet just goes down or something.
I mean,
So
Brig,
Social,
get him on Wu Yang, bro. Just get him back on Wu Yang. Like,
I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like he was doing fine on Mizuki as well. I don't know. I
I
think
mean, I think this.
it is winnable if USA just if their internet goes down or something. But
I think for the USA it's winnable from the composition on the other side. Look at this ratty
I like this composition. I like this. I like this.
This is grim. This is sickening. Reinhardt, Junkrat, and Hanzo.
I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of this.
I mean,
Hold the
you
spawn.
said spam damage from social. It's the other way instead. Nadakasu is going to switch onto that Widowmaker to try and find something. New 7's able to find spam central, but down to 1 HP, just about able to escape with her life. And you can see Nadakasu looking for that peek in. Looking to get aggressive is Mixv, but their head clean taken off by Nadakasu. That might be all they need. They do lose Amity though. Try and get the res through, but Social is taken down for it, applying some sort of util absolutely everywhere, and I can't believe we didn't see the Battle Mercy there to take him out. I mean, what are you doing? Bobby Wasabi going down low. Nadakato somehow the front line of this composition on that Widowmaker is going to be taken down by New 7, but Amity's left the spawn doors, taken down Super Gomez, and once again, it all falls down for Colombia.
I mean,
Someone is sitting in that room at USA. There is someone there. I swear I just saw someone sit down. Oh wait, it's Diana. Wait, Mixv, bro.
there's. So I think Bobby Wasabi just died to a better mind, which I mean, that really sums it all
We've
up.
all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
And now there's an Ana hiding behind death.
Mixv, bro.
That's genuinely a Frogger spot. That's a Frogger troll
So-
spot. The Ana is playing a
Yeah,
Frogger troll spot.
support your workers. Don't attack retail staff. They do a good job. But New 7 is going to invest that dragons to try
Yeah,
and
he's
get
my
something in here, but the Bionade is really just everything needed to deal with Super Gomez. They're all down super low. Mixv does find one onto social, but I mean, was that even needed? You've invested Panopticon and it's all a bit of fireworks. There we go. It is Team USA that are able to take it through. It felt inevitable from that defensive side, but of course they were able to get it over the line. And I mean, this could be absolutely grim from Nadakato if it's what I think it is, and
It
I
is.
believe it is. This headshot coming up here is so grim onto Bobby Wasabi, and then investing this Bob as well, making sure that Super Gomez can't even touch the ground before falling is absolutely insane. But congratulations to Team USA, who, I mean, it was very clean, it was very sustained. They didn't drop a single map across, I believe. They lost one to Canada yesterday, but I'm pretty sure that's all that has been taken from them as soon as they got into the playoffs, dropping a couple in that regular phase. But yeah, taking down Mexico, Canada, and then Colombia to sweep through this finals and take that prize home with them of first place. So players did really well. And at the end of the day, Colombia, it felt like unfortunately they didn't quite turn up. They had their good moments and sparks, but it wasn't really as sustained as you need it to be to take a couple of maps off of a USA team that really, really looks impressive today.
Yeah, I mean, there was just kind of no stopping them, to be honest, no matter what map they were on. The closest map was that King's Row. But I mean, they were playing the Zarya comp. Kings Row is a good Zarya map. They go to Circuit Royale here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's not like they played a different comp. I mean, did they still rolled out? They roll out on the Orisa, was it? They roll
Mhm.
out on the Orisa. You can still just play you can still just play Sorabasa if you don't play Zarya anymore, just don't pick Zarya. Just pick a better map than Circuit. I really didn't like the Circuit pick, if I'm being honest, but if I'm also being honest, I don't think it would have mattered. Um if they'd won King's Row, I think we could be looking at a different situation because they might have got some momentum. Um, but I mean, you could tell by what Mixview was doing at the end there. I mean, he was like LARPing as a retail worker. I mean, I think that kind of sums up how the game went.
Yeah, I think I mean, first of all, Colombia made it this far, right? They got to the grand finals, which is, I mean, second place is no mean feat. There's
Absolutely.
what 11
Coming
teams in
in
this
coming
tournament.
into the playoffs as well as the sixth seed, like really an
Mhm.
achievement to make it to the grand finals.
Yeah, definitely. Well played for Colombia to even be here. It's unfortunate as a way to bow out, but I think this is just more so credit to the US and how good they were than it is a diss on Colombia because Colombia did. I mean, you're right. They had their great moments. They had some excellent Zarya gameplay, and they. I mean, we saw some beautiful shots from the cast. I think on Li Zhang, there were definitely opportunities for them to flourish in a lot of prior series, and here I think they were just stomped out by the United States of America. And I mean, once more, congratulations to them for just some genuinely just really good gameplay.
Yeah, well, that is going to be all from us as we've been working the night shift. But congratulations once again to the US for taking out this tournament. The Copa America de Overwatch NA does go into their hands, and we should be seeing you guys soon for some more action from these sorts of tournaments. But for now, it's goodbye from Sam, Sky Knight, and me, and goodbye from our lovely production team as well of Joe and KPJ as our in game observer. Thank you to everyone for watching, and it's goodbye for now.